Hello, and welcome back to Create Astral, where last episode we got this super big lava pool set up, and I finally got it working so that it's an infinite lava source now. And we set up one of these steam engines, and I finally got this working so that we have enough water coming in for it to be considered a level 9 boiler. Yeah, so we have plenty of stress units on this thing left over to use for our future builds. I also got it hooked up and working towards our main room here so that we can take this power and connect it to anywhere we need to go. I'd kind of been struggling to come up with base ideas, but I think this place is coming along nicely, and this will definitely be where we work from now on instead of up there. Today, though, I think we're going to jump into looking at creating an ME system for us. This is basically just going to act as a sort of central storage. So instead of having all these chests laying around, we can throw all of our items into one place. Yeah, so all of these chests here are going to be able to be combined and thrown into one storage location later today. There are a couple of items we need to get set up before we can get into that, though. And the first is going to be to get some of these integrated circuits. And I've set up a little hallway here so that we can set this up and anything else that we need to automate later on. We are going to have to grab some things to get this set up. Looks like we need a spout, 2 deployers, and a press. This also has 3 different item inputs, so I'm going to grab 3 of those storage drawers and probably an extra one for an output. Alright, I think I've got everything we need here. I'm not entirely sure though. We're just going to kind of wing this as we go. Alright, so we're going to have 4 separate inputs here. And the first one is going to be lapis blocks, which then need to get pressed down into lapis sheets. So we could just put a depot right behind this and then throw a press above that, just like that. And I'm not going to worry about powering all this until after everything is built up and finished. Right, so then we can have another storage unit behind that, and this is going to filter out the lapis sheets that come through. The next input we're going to have is silver ingots, and these actually need to go into a melter, which is why right below this silver ingot input, we're going to have one for coal. I'm actually going to go ahead and lock all of these too. So the coal is going to go into the seared heater for fuel, and then the ingots up top will go into the melter. We will need to pump all that liquid out, so we're just going to have this go up instead of through the back. I'm going to throw down our belt here, like that there, and then we'll need an andesite funnel off of this storage unit, but I'm not going to throw it down just yet so we can filter it when we need to. Our spout is going to be first, and that's where our molten silver is going to be coming from, so we can just hook up our pipes here like that. We'll need 2 deployers next to that, and this is where our copper wire is going to come out of. And the last input we're going to have is going to be copper ingots. We'll throw a depot right behind the storage unit for those ingots to get pressed. Another storage unit behind this depot, and these are actually going to go up into a rolling mill. Actually, we may have to put the rolling mill below the storage unit because I think it only accepts items through the top. And then somehow we need to get the copper wire into both of these deployers. So I think what I can do here is throw a depot next to this rolling mill, and actually we may need a storage unit first to automatically take the items out of it. Then if we put a depot above that, we can use a mechanical arm I have here. And we want to set it so that it deposits the items into the deployers and takes from this depot. And then this way it should round robin so that once it takes items from the depot the first time, it will put it into one deployer, and then the next time it takes items from it, it will put it into the next one. So that way it is splitting the items between it, and that way both deployers get enough copper wire. And then the last thing we need on here is a mechanical press. And then if we use a weighted ejector, we can select this first belt here if we shift right click, and then we're gonna put it all the way back here. We want this weighted ejector because this recipe has to be repeated 6 times. So this is going to allow it to send it all the way back to the beginning until it's the finished product. Which is also why we're going to throw down one of these brass funnels here, or sonnery tunnels. And then this way we can filter it out so that once those circuits are complete, we can have them go into our final storage unit here. We'll just need to throw some belts down. And then we'll need to eventually set a filter on this once we get the items going. Make sure we throw an andesite funnel onto the storage unit. And then I believe that's everything. We just need to get some power to this, which will be super handy and accessible since we already have this power coming from the main room here. And now that we have power coming into this, we just need to throw down one of these rotational speed controllers, throw up a large cogwheel above this, and we should just be able to start hooking everything up. Sweet, and I believe that should be everything powered. We just need to start connecting our cruise storage units to have the right inputs and outputs. We'll want this one to be set on auto import from the back, and then we shouldn't have to set an output on this because we can just throw down a funnel and have that come out instead. Well, maybe we do. Output. Oh, no, we set it to the back. Output to the front instead. There we go. Now it's going to be stuck until we start getting the right items under all of these. So we want to set our silver to auto output to the back. And our coal too. That way these will get melted and this should start pulling it straight out and into the spout. There we go, we can see it coming through there. And it should go ahead and start spouting onto these. As for our copper, we'll also want to set that to output to the back. And then we should start seeing some copper plates out of this. Then we should be able to set this storage unit and lock it so that it only imports copper sheets. And then we can, let's see what way it's facing. Yep, so we need to import from the right. And then output to the bottom, actually. There we go. And then once these copper wires are finished, we can have them import to the side here. Yep, from the right on this one. Make sure we lock that too. And then this copper wire is going to go straight up. We need to get that out of the way. Auto output to the top. There we go. Then this mechanical arm will grab them and put them into these deployers here. And I'm actually going to disconnect this belt until we get one of the final circuits through, just so we can set a filter on this when we need to. Otherwise, we're going to have lapis sheets coming onto this belt. And it kind of looks like these sheets aren't able to make it all the way over. We may need to clear some room out above. Like that here. Let's see how this works now. There we go. Looks like it made it all the way over. And it looks like we have pretty much everything working here. We're just waiting on a circuit to finish so that we can set a filter on this. There we go. Looks like we got one coming through now. We can just grab this, connect our belt back up here, and set a filter on that, and grab that guy. Then we'll need to set a lock on this and have it import from the right, or sorry, the left here. And there we go. It looks like we have some circuits coming through now. Next, we'll need to take our new integrated circuits and use them to craft one of these alternators. Now, I should have some spare machine frames lying around for this, and a whole bunch of silver plates that we can put into use. We'll just need some of these standard machine casings, and then we should have everything now. We're going to grab one of these. We will also need some of these copper connectors, and then some of these copper spools too. As for the applied energistic stuff, we'll need to take some of our Certus quartz dust we got on the moon and smelt that into, it's silicon that we're going to get out of this. Then we can also take some of our shimmer we got quite a while ago and put it onto some Certus quartz dust. And this is going to, I think we need to set our train first. No? Oh, I see, we had to get it to the station first. Now we can disassemble it. Right, so if we pour some shimmer onto Certus quartz dust, this is going to give us shimmer dust. Then I also want to grab one of these crystal growth accelerators. This is going to allow us to take some of these Certus quartz seeds and grow them into Certus quartz crystals. So we just want to toss these into water and wait for them to grow. Normally this process would take 20 minutes, but even with one crystal growth accelerator, that gets cut down into 2 minutes, which is a huge difference. These things are fairly expensive though, so I think I'm just going to stick with one for now. After waiting for long enough though, I've realized that this device needs to be powered by an ME system, and I think we may need one of these energy acceptors to do this. Set up a little room down here for now just to set this up. This definitely won't be permanent, but I believe we can attach this alternator on here, and this is going to start generating some power. And then I'm not sure how this works, but we may be able to connect this energy acceptor. Yep, right up to this, and it turns it online. Then if we attach one of these glass cables up to this, we can connect our crystal growth accelerator. Maybe it needs to be taken in from the top. Yep, there we go. Now it's online. Then we can just throw down our water bucket and our surface quartz seeds. And it says it's online. I can't actually tell if it's speeding these up or not. Let's take a look. Yep, they're at 27% now, which is much higher than they were going before. There we go, and it looks like these are all charged up now. We can take these new Certus Quartz crystals and use them to craft up an energy cell. We'll also need an inscriber, which we can get just by stone cutting a basic machine frame here. And this is where our inscriber presses that we got on the moon when we first went there are going to come in handy. And I've set up a new pretty large room here, and this is where our main ME storage is going to go. I'm also going to throw a couple other things in here, like some workstations from Create. We'll need like a press and a rolling mill, things like that. For now though, we can focus on this. We need to get some rotational power in here so that we can charge up this accumulator. We'll also need to throw our energy acceptor on that. And I'm not sure if we need to connect this with glass cables or not. Maybe we can just connect it directly, and then we can throw our inscriber on the front here. We'll see how that works. We may need to use glass cables instead between those. All we need to do is get some rotational power to this alternator here. With this hooked up to our main system back there, we should be getting some rotational power to this. We can speed it up to produce some more energy. Let's see if that helps at all. If we... Oh, I think I got this backwards. We want to connect this rotational speed controller so that it's operating the cogwheel instead. So we may need to get this in from the back. And now we should be able to crank this up to produce more energy. Let's see what goes at max speed. We got 15 FE per tick here. And it looks like this does work directly, so we can see we're getting some energy into this energy cell. This inscriber also is online, so we can go ahead and open this up. And to start, we want to get some of these inscriber silicon presses. We can just throw that in there, and it should turn it into a printed silicon here. That's one of the first ingredients we're going to need. Then there are 3 different types of presses we have here. The engineering press, if we put a diamond in there, is going to give us a engineering circuit. Then the logic press and gold is going to give us a logic circuit. And then last, the calculation press and Certus Quartz is going to give us a calculation circuit. And then each of these combined with some shimmer dust and printed silicon is going to give us the processor version of that. Now, these processors are going to come in handy to craft some of the main items we're going to need to do this. We can use our engineering processors to make an ME drive. We can also throw an energy cell in a basin and pour some shimmer on it, and this is going to give us an ME controller. Here we are. Then we can take our logic pressers and make both a formation core and an annihilation core. These combined with an illuminated panel is going to give us an ME terminal, and we are going to want to turn this into an ME crafting terminal too. And then the last thing we should need here is one of these storage cells. We'll need one of these storage components, and I'm actually going to go ahead and make 2 more of these. And then we can take 3 of these and upgrade it to a 4K component. Then we can take our 4K component and craft it into a storage cell. Now, this should be everything we need. We should be able to start hooking things up. We can throw down our controller somewhere. Then I'm going to throw down a glass cable and put our crafting terminal on the front here. And if we put our 4K storage cell in this, we should be able to start throwing some items in here. And it looks like we're generating enough power for this and everything, which is great. So yeah, now we basically have as much as this can hold at least. Until we craft up some more storage cells, and we can go higher than 4K. We can craft 16K, or I think it goes up to 256. Yeah, we'll definitely need a few more of these to hold all of the items we have, but other than that, we can start moving things down. Now, another thing that we should be able to do is hook up these storage buses to any of these storage units, so we can take our deep slate production here, and all of these items that we're getting, we should be able to connect it so that we can just access these from our ME terminal over there. Let's see if this works here. We should be able to see almost 2,000 redstone in our system now. No, we only got 29. Let's see, I think it is connected. Yep, the storage bus is connected. Maybe we need to set a filter on this. Nope, we still got only 29, so I'm not sure if that works. Maybe those storage units just aren't compatible with the ME system. Or if you guys know a fix for that, let me know down in the comment section. But I think that's a good place to leave it for today. I think that's going to end it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.